This is the North Hudson Public Works meeting, Tuesday, April 17th, 2018 at 5:30 p.m. Call to order, roll call, please.
Member Head?
He's gone.
Oh, okay. Member Matz?
Present.
Chair Hike?
Here.
Member Zeiss?
Here.
All right, item number 2, approve the minutes from the March 2018 Public Works meeting.
Chair, I move to approve the minutes from March 20th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item number 3, confined space policy discussion and possible recommendation. Patrick.
Sorry, I set that at the bottom. I'll just read my issue statement. Currently, the village has a no-enter policy for confined spaces. Included in your packets are the old policy and the current policy. I sent the two policies with Jay Penfield of X Environmental for review. Currently, I've not gotten a response to know if our old policy can be updated or if we need to have a new policy drafted. That being said, the Public Works employees have been confined space trained. We have a working gas monitor, and all we need is a tripod and retrieval equipment, which is about $3,500. I was told we could rent or borrow this equipment from Hudson Utilities or X Environmental until we can budget for one next year. When I receive word from Jay about the policy, I'll bring it to the committee immediately. I contacted him yesterday, or actually this afternoon, and he said he hadn't got a chance to read it yet, but they also make confined space policies and stuff for people that they're in the business to do that so that everything is right. So that's why I asked them to do it. And I also, just for whatever money's sake, I included the lift station sheet for failures and dollar amounts on that, so that you guys could try to keep you up to date on that.
Okay, I guess two things. So you're going to bring this new policy?
Well, I'll bring the information to you guys as soon as I get anything. I'll bring, if we can just redo the policy, I'll have them do that, and then I'll bring that policy to you so that you guys can review it and check it out. And
What kind of time frame are you thinking? Will it be
I hope,
ready by next meeting?
I hope that it will be. He led me to believe that he'd probably look at it next week.
Okay.
He's pretty busy, but I hope that it's not going to be a time-consuming thing.
Okay, and can you get the old policy to us, comparison-wise, so we can look?
Shoot, I was gonna.
It's okay.
I have them.
By next
I'll,
meeting.
yeah, I'll get you those two policies.
Or you can email it to us too, so we can get it.
I'll do that tomorrow. I'll email them to you because I thought I included that.
It's okay.
What's the condition of your working gas monitor or whatever you have in place currently now? I mean, you said you have a working gas monitor.
Yeah, we didn't have a 4-gas monitor, which we need to go into the confined spaces. I was able to get one from an old one from Hudson Fire Department. It still works. It just was taken out of service because they have to keep everything up to date.
Right.
I took it over to Viking Industrial, had it all checked out. Everything works just fine. So.
Good, thank you.
So, Patrick and I have been talking about this for a little bit because of the costs that we're running into on the, obviously on the lift stations right now, and having to always have somebody come to help us.
Right.
And it's all because there's a policy in place at the Village of North Hudson that was instituted a long time ago. And in fact, I just recently talked to one of the statesmen here on the board who was around back 20-some years ago, and he said it was just a different time. All these pumps were much newer when this was put in place, and frankly, nobody wanted to go down and into those confined spaces. So that's at least the reasoning one person gave me. And I had asked Patrick to make sure he looked up all the OSHA rules related to it to make sure that we are going to be able to follow them, to check all the equipment that we needed so we're not going to get, you know, some big chunk of money thrown at us that's unbudgeted. And so he's done all this extra legwork to find equipment that he could get his hands on for nothing, and we come down to basically needing this tripod. And the tripod's for,
It's for retrieval.
of us and,
Yeah.
and equipment?
Yeah,
can
you can
pick
use
up-
it for both.
Okay, so it basically stands over the confined space?
Are you tied to it as you go down?
Yep, yeah, you put on a harness and then you hook onto that and you go down in there. So if something, God forbid, were to happen, you can come back out.
And you're required to have a second person, obviously.
Yep, I'm sure there's a lot of things in the policy that are gonna be established
Yeah,
around this.
OSHA's
We
pretty
have the
clear.
harnesses.
We do have a harness, but I think I'll probably update it. It's a smaller one. And now they make a kind of a one-size-fits-all, so we don't have to buy 3 different ones. So I'll probably do that, and then we can get one for about $200, actually a pretty decent one, so.
Which falls within his spending bailiwick too, so. Any other questions about, I mean, do you guys understand why we're going
Yeah,
there?
I understand. I mean, we know the costs that we've been accumulating over the last
Yes.
so many months, whatever, years.
So you're saying we wouldn't have to call somebody then to like go down there and work on it? That's awesome.
I guess one other thing I'd like to add is I know I had heard a few board members talk about that, well, we could get this done and that would save us costs and then we won't need it after we put the new pumps in. That is incorrect, because the valves in there will still need to be exercised.
Yeah.
And you're still
Otherwise,
doing that
if-
on an annual basis, right?
If we don't do that, they're gonna not work. You have to exercise them.
And this goes to, well, I'm very much about having, these guys have a schedule of when we're doing
Yep.
fire hydrants, when we're exercising any of our infrastructure, maintenance, otherwise, we're fixing.
Yeah.
You know, things will break and we'll fix.
Do we have like a chart, an org chart, like a regular?
We're
like-
working on it, right?
Okay.
We are working on it, yes.
PM
We
schedule?
flushed all the hydrants last year. I plan on actually doing it every year. We're only required by the DNR to do it once every 2 years. Valve exercising is required every 5 years. We're right at that breaking point. So this summer, we will be exercising valves. And then I'm working with a few of the people in the office to make a spreadsheet. And then Kevin, I've also given him some information so he can make a book for us. It's a good-sized book that we can just carry right with us and write the information, and we'll GPS all the valves, all the curb stops, all the hydrants, everything.
Ooh, I like it.
We'll get
So,
What is- track of.
so the thing is, in the future, if,
Yeah.
you know, the proverbial bus comes along, hits them,
Yeah.
we have the record,
Yeah.
and we're not having to go back like he is right now and find all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's even like the painting of the fire hydrants. We need to do those, you know, what, every 3 years? And I want him to
should.
cut them, how many do we got?
There's 3,
There's quite a few.
I want to say 315, but
So those are the kind of things where you want to do 100 a year, you know, and then just start again. And, you know, I don't know how long the paint jobs last, but I do get grumbling
It's-
about
it's
our,
probably
I
just-
get grumbling about how those things look.
I would too. Some of those looked awful, and I tried
Okay.
to get some of the worst ones last summer. I didn't like that either.
So I'm just hoping that as a Public Works Committee, we can get these kind of plans laid out, so, because we're only here for 2 years, you know, so down the road, it's a lot easier than what we originally ran into here. There's a schedule, it's always in place, the director has it, he gives it to, you know, a copy to the administrator, so there's always this record running forward that here's what we've done. And right now, it seems like we're always catching up, we're trying to say, oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And like this exercising of valves, I don't think we should wait 5 years on anything like that. I don't care what they say.
What does it?
No.
What does it cost to have somebody else exercise the valves? I was curious.
You know, I've never even checked into that because I didn't think that was anything that we should have somebody else do.
Right.
Just for the simple fact that if something breaks
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, somebody else that comes in from an outside company is probably going to not quite be so gentle with things as to where we own this or
Right.
take ownership in it. We're going to maybe take it a little easy on these valves and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. Just, you know, for argument's
Yep.
sake, the cost offset.
Yeah,
As
I
long as
could
our-
check into it.
And if our guys, if there are things, once we get this full schedule, that our guys are not gonna have the time to get to, like even the painting of the hydrants and stuff, you're right, we should be looking outside so we can stay on schedule and they can cover the more critical pieces. Okay. Any other comments about this item?
No, looking forward to that policy.
Yeah. Is that what you want to call it, a policy?
Yes.
Maintenance policy? No, oh, you're talking about
Confined
the
space.
confined space, okay.
Yeah, I'll ship all that information out to you guys tomorrow.
All right,
I
great.
apologize again. I thought I had.
All right. Item number 4, street maintenance discussion and possible recommendation. And that's in our packet. So is this the hot patching or?
It should be all three of them.
So we got hot patching, we got seal coating, and we've got crack filling, right?
Yep.
So starting with hot patching.
Starting with hot patching, an RFP was sent out 2 weeks ago for the hot patching of the village streets. I received a proposal from Farner Asphalt Sealers. Their proposal was $14,490 to infrared hot patch. Some more background and current information. Last year, the village spent $15,000 on spray patching with St. Croix County Highway Department. I went out this year and looked at the patching that they did last year, and everything has held up well, even with, I think, probably a little rougher winter than most, a lot of plowing and stuff. Comparing the two different types of patching is almost impossible because of the methods used. I have talked with the town of Hudson. They do all of their work with St. Croix County. Also, River Falls does most of their road maintenance with St. Croix County. In talking with these municipalities, they say that St. Croix County is the most reasonable as far as bang for the dollar. I also talked with the county highway commissioner. He told me the county can't mark prices up. All they can do is charge the time and materials, just your bare bones pricing. I believe spray patching is a good product. It is not labor intensive. It can be used to seal up around manholes and gate valves. And the reason why I say that is we have done some infrared hot patching over the manholes, and just my background in working with steel and building things out of steel and cast and whatever, they would take this big infrared, they have this big infrared machine, you know, it's like a big burner, and they lay it down, and it's so far off the ground, and it just heats really hot, heats the stuff up, and then they smooth it out, throw a little bit of mix on it. Well, when they do that over the manholes and the gate valves, you're heating that cast up like that hot.
Oh.
And to me, that's 101, do not do that. So that's kind of why I steer away from it as far as that, and that's why I put that comment in there. And the spray patching, last year I found out a lot of things about it. It was kind of new to me. I liked it because it sticks to anything. We fixed some curb with it. We fixed a few around the catch basins around the outside or whatever. We sprayed that in there. Everything has held up so well. I think it's such a versatile thing, and it's going to be hard to beat their price. So that's why I recommended using them for spray patching instead of doing any hot patching.
Okay.
Chair, I move to have St. Croix County do the spray patching of the village streets at the price not to exceed $20,000.
Second.
All right, any further discussion?
So this is the second year now we would be using them, right? 'Cause
Yep.
I think last year, I remember, right?
Yep, we just did the spray patching last year.
Saved quite a bit.
Are there any issues related to
St. Croix County. have the
St. Croix County
capacity.
being able to take us on in a timely fashion?
No, I'm just waiting to hear back from them. I wanted to get this all done and get it approved, but I actually called Mike Van Kuren in January and put our name on the list.
Okay.
You mentioned that you were.
So I got it right away. And well, I'll talk about their process or whatever after we get everything else done. But yeah, I should be hearing back from them
Okay.
soon.
Do you have to stay on them at all? I mean,
No.
Okay.
No.
Any other questions about the difference between what he's saying here, spray patching versus hot patching? All understood? All right. It has been motioned by Tim and seconded by Phil. And this is a spending issue, so we have to say yes or no. Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Passed unanimously. And then the next one is, which one?
Seal coat?
Seal coat? Okay.
Seal coating the village streets. I received 3 bids for seal coating of the village streets from Scott Construction, Farner Asphalt, and Allied Blacktop. Scott Construction bid $33,391. Farner Asphalt bid $26,710, and Allied Blacktop bid $23,128.92. More background and current information. I've also done some estimating to have St. Croix County do the seal coating. Their estimates are high due to the fact that they don't want any surprises at the end of the job. Having St. Croix County seal coat all of Helen Street would roughly cost $26,000. One advantage to having St. Croix County do the street maintenance is that the village gets to keep the chips that are used in the seal coating process to be used again, and that would kind of fit into my plan of adding to our stockpile down there and then getting renting the screen from River Falls, and we'd screen all the foreign stuff out of the chips, and they will use those chips because those are used in the spray patching machine too. So they'll reuse those chips, so we won't have to buy chips every year or as many chips. So a lot of it is renewing, reusing.
Okay.
This is a chip seal process.
So explain that, what seal coating is.
Seal coating is they have a distributor. It's a truck, usually a straight truck with a tank on it, and it shoots hot oil. There's a spray bar in the back of it, and it has little snivvies, and they spray a nice little triangular deal, and they drive down the road, and they'll put what is it, like
It's like trap rock.
3/100ths or something inch
3/8
of oil.
Oh, the oil.
The
that goes
thickness, I
down
can't remember what that were, and I used to do it, but I can't
But a real
remember.
thin layer of oil.
And it's like a layer of oil, and then they'll have then they have a Flaherty, it's called. That's filled with these chips, and they go down the street, and that just drops those rocks in there, and then they'll roll over the top of it with a rubber tire roller and pack those chips in. The thing, or what it's doing is it's sealing that top of asphalt, because asphalt rots from the bottom up. So you're sealing so that the water doesn't get down, permeate into it, and then rot the asphalt.
And is it doing anything with the cracks and stuff at the same time?
Yeah,
Is
if
it-
you put a good, I mean, the small cracks, yeah, it's gonna help.
Okay.
The big cracks, obviously there'll have to be some crack filling.
Right.
So you're looking basically just to do Helen Street, right, based on the quotes you have here, right? Or
Yep. That's what I figured that was about all our money was gonna get us, using outside contractors.
What's Helen on the Pacer rating?
Is a,
Oh, come on, you knew I was gonna wanna know that.
it's 5.
magic matches either.
Now, Pacer rating, do you understand Pacer ratings?
I
Okay.
have the book at work.
And we have a list somewhere, right? Pacer ratings, yes. We have actually a map, right?
Yeah.
Map, yeah.
Okay, some like,
Every 2 years.
when we go to the board with this one, have the map.
Have the map,
And
okay.
explain why we're picking Helen. I mean, not just the cost, but where it lies on the Pacer rating. And I really hope, I think I've talked about this before, that we have a plan out in the future that we're saying, these are the streets that we're planning to do based on current Pacer ratings, unless something happens. We're gonna follow this plan out the next 5 years or whatever.
I think I it was a while ago, but I think I gave you guys that plan.
I think, yeah, but bring it again.
Okay.
As a reminder, getting it in the notes and in the minutes each
All right.
time that we're
Yep.
doing it. I think
Yeah,
is important.
I think when we did the Whistler stuff, when Kevin and I went through the streets, I brought that stuff to you, but I'll bring it in.
Yeah, for the board, well, you know,
Yep.
Yep.
keep it simple for them, but, I don't want them to not have enough info.
Okay.
I mean, I believe, I know what you're doing, because we talk a lot more than maybe the board gets a chance to hear, so.
Sure, okay.
Do I have a motion on this one?
Not yet, but I'm just confirming some things. Yep, I moved to motion to have the St. Croix County do the seal coating for our village streets with a price not to exceed $30,000.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion by Tim Zeiss, second by Phil Matz. Any further discussion?
Standard budget is in place already for this activity?
Yeah, we have 30,000 budgeted for seal coating, and then to go back, we have 20,000 for the,
So you're following budget
patching.
numbers,
Yes.
basically?
Yep.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Okay, spending issue, Tim Zeiss?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Yes. All right, it approved unanimously. Next item is what?
crack filling.
Crack filling? Okay, go ahead.
An RFP was sent out 2 weeks ago, and crack filling of the village streets. I received bids from Farner Asphalt and Scott Construction on the crack filling. Farner came in at $33,376.31. Scott Construction bid $25,000. The reason why they bid the $25,000 was they were giving me a bid on a polyfiber crack filling. I'm not real familiar with it. I don't know if you've
I haven't
seen
seen any either.
any of it. They were, yeah, it's something new.
$8,000 less, though.
No. That's only to use, if you look at their bid, it says only 12,000 pounds. So 12,000 pounds would get us 5-6 streets. It's quite a bit more expensive than just using regular crack fill. So that's why that looks smaller. I've also done some estimating to have St. Croix County do the crack filling in the village streets. It would roughly cost $24,000 to fill the cracks of village streets. St. Croix County doesn't do any routing of the cracks. They just fill the ones that are wide enough to get the oil into.
Do they blow them?
Yeah.
They seriously, they take an air?
Yeah, they blow them out. Yep.
Okay.
Can they do that anymore?
I think so.
With the OSHA regulations last year saying no dust? No silica dust?
I don't know. I guess I never thought of that.
Because I know that all the construction I ran into last year, they've had to they had to modify all their cabs and all their excavating equipment
Really?
and put new filters in, and you have to have, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay. I'm not positive then.
And you're talking with the county blowing it, right?
Yeah, and I think they still do. I'm not sure.
Okay, for all of them, we should probably go back and ask them. Because I would think even the ones that are routing them out would still.
Well,
want the
yeah,
blow-
they
blow 'em.
do. It says right there,
What are they
blow out
doing
and clean
instead?
cracks with
I
compressed
don't
air
know
and
what the
heat lamps.
solution is. OSHA
Because
created a
it's-
huge problem for themselves last year, and that's all I heard from all the
They'd have to
construction
use
projects.
vacuum cleaners, right?
Yeah.
They'd have to, yeah.
It was a big thing last year, and I know all the superintendents I
yeah.
talked to had to go through all this special training to knock down all this silica dust. I mean, it was crazy.
It says right there.
Heard of that one.
No,
When did it go in effect?
maybe it's only a Minnesota thing. Maybe it's not a Wisconsin thing. It
Okay,
could be.
so Farner, in the Farner quote, it says, blow out and clean cracks with compressed air and heat lamps.
Yeah, that's-
Maybe it's only a Minnesota thing. I don't know.
Can we find out?
Yeah, I'll ask them for sure, but if they don't, yeah, they have
mean,
to blow the cracks out.
So gentlemen, assuming,
I think we should move on the motion, but we definitely should bring this to the attention of the bids and everything.
right, and find out before the board meeting, because we don't
I'll
want to.
call him tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't want
Yeah.
Yep.
to, so we're gonna move on this as though that's a Minnesota thing, let's hope.
Let's hope.
But if it's a Minnesota thing, it's eventually gonna come up, so we want to start making these people aware of it, and then if it's a Minnesota thing,
I mean, if it's really, I mean, it's on them. If they bid this much, it's on them
Their
to
responsibility.
resolve. It's their responsibility.
I know, but
Couldn't lose the bid, though, if they
do
find
we
out.
have a responsibility? Is there really a problem with this dust?
Silicosis is why they did it.
I don't want to become a hot zone. Because we're doing
I think
things
we
wrong.
already are.
All right, so make sure you find that
Yep.
out. Find out what you can about this concern
Yep.
that changed the rules in Minnesota, because I want to be able to say to the board, we do or we don't think there's a concern about this dust. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can add to the motion if you would like me to.
Yeah, why don't we do
I
that?
move to approve the St. Croix County seal coating the streets, barring the fact of the information we find about the blowing of the silicone
Cracks,
cracks,
Yes.
at a price not to exceed $30,000.
Second.
25.
For St. Croix.
St. Croix, I'm sorry, 25, I apologize.
Yeah, second.
25, correct myself, yeah.
Okay, motion made by Tim Zeiss, seconded by Phil Matz. And it's a spending issue, so, oh, any other discussion?
No.
I really want to make sure we get that one figured out, if they're going to blow them. And if they're going to blow them, ask them, do they know about the law in Minnesota, and maybe do your own research.
Concerns
Yep,
residents,
I'll get on it right away in the morning.
I don't want to blow, because we're going to hear it if we're blowing dust, silicone dust, and,
You're gonna hear it either way,
well, I want to know it's not dangerous to our people, all right?
because we just got done with,
I don't need any more dust. I hate dust.
would you rather have snow?
No, I'd rather have vacuum cleaners,
All right.
if that's what's needed.
Okay.
Okay, so spending issue, Phil?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Passed unanimous. And next item on the agenda, is that all the street maintenance? Okay, chair update. Patrick?
You're the chair, sir.
Oh, me.
Test.
I just wanted to welcome Phil and say congratulations on your newly elected position, and also being, joining us here on Public Works, and also congratulations to my other incumbent for being on the village board and on Public Works again. All right, engineers report.
All right, so first item is the Wisconsin Street North project. We have made an official request to do a 2-year extension on that project
Cool.
because of the DOT, with the DOT project that's slated for 2021.
Well, weren't we doing it? Didn't we already extend it to, ask them to extend it to?
So basically, the sunset clause, the way it sits right now, is June 30th of 2022. So to have everything in place for your reimbursement, you would have to construct that project in 2021, which is in parallel with the Highway 35 job.
And we wanted 35 done, remember, because we know we're going to be routing traffic over Wisconsin Street
Yep.
because of that project. So we didn't want to do Wisconsin Street until after they were done with 6th Street, or 35,
Yeah.
right? That was our
Yeah.
thinking. Okay, so you're asking us to put off to change the language to say, can you guys do this in 2022?
So basically give you a 2-year extension on that sunset clause is what we had Stan send a letter to the DOT requesting that.
Okay, and how do you think they'll,
I would think they wouldn't have any issues just because of the 35 project. But until we get something back from them, I won't truly know.
well, 2020 is the next election, right? President?
No, you extending it to 2022 or 2024?
So 2024,
That's what I thought.
2024?
Yeah.
So 2 elections.
yeah. So basically 2 years on that sunset clause is what we're looking for. So,
We were going for I thought we were going for 2022 originally,
yeah, that is what,
just to bypass the 2021 35 project.
yeah, but right now you would have to have the whole project done by June 30th of 2022, and you and I, yeah, you gotta be constructing it the previous year to be able
Oh,
to
I
have all
see.
that stuff done.
So why didn't you push it out to 2023 instead of 2024?
Usually they do a 2-year.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a standard
All right,
number out there.
all right.
So that'll, there'll be some more forthcoming information on
issues?
that.
No.
Okay.
The other item that we've been working on is, looks like Quick Trip in housing development to the east is gonna make their site plan approval, or site plan submittal here for the May Public Work, or Plan Commission meeting.
I thought they were holding off till 2019.
So
Did they
basic-
get their PDQs done?
they're truly not gonna build this year, but they wanna get all their approvals in place.
Oh, gotcha.
Because there's gonna be a joint stormwater pond
Right.
between the housing development and Quick Trip.
Okay.
So they're trying to bring that in.
I thought they were
parallel.
just doing that piece, but you're saying they're doing the whole, getting everything ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
Where are they dumping that?
cool.
Yeah, so just information that's moving forward, and
Do you want to know where? Do you want
I'll see you later.
to? Okay.
so.
All right, thank you.
And then the other item is the pumps for the Cedar Lift Station. They have been put on order. They are, 12, 13 weeks out. And as of now, a tentative ship date is like the first week in July.
I thought 10 to 12. Is it going up on us here?
I wish we could bump that up.
Any way
but
we can push them?
I've asked.
They know it's critical.
Yep, and I sent them a copy of, what Patrick had put together for all the repairs that you've done out there.
So they know it's critical.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have some ideas that maybe we could, kind of a temporary fix to get you by, so it's not on a reoccurrence.
Well, every 2 days, you mean?
Yeah, every 2 days was getting to be kind
All
of
right, what
crazy
I-
out there.
All right, what ideas you got?
What's that?
So, and I'll have to talk to Patrick, but one of the ideas, there is some adjustments on the motors where basically the impeller fits up against the pump base. They'll
Okay.
start getting out of tolerance a little bit.
Right?
Then you'll start to see more issues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That might be one of your options to look at.
Well, what do you mean?
Basically, you have somebody come in and adjust tolerance between the bottom of the impeller and the top of the base. Because if you get too much of a gap, then it gets to be more easier for the rags to clog up.
So it's just a Band-Aid for until you're,
Yeah, there's some bolts on there that you can, so basically you bottom out the impeller
Yeah?
and then you raise it back up to a certain tolerance.
And how much does that cost?
It's just,
the person to get down in there and do it, right? Yeah.
yeah, get somebody in, or maybe
I mean, do we pull-
Patrick could
Do we
tackle
actually
that.
pull it?
No,
I can't enter that.
yeah, so we'd have to hire somebody to come
Okay.
in and do that.
Yeah, we'd want, yes,
It's a tumbling effect here, yeah.
yes.
Cause
Well, and it's not just that, I still worry about the other pumps down the road. So we're learning what we can do now in case, I mean, if rags are plugging these pumps up every 2 days, we've got some serious wipe flushers around the city here. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
Has it been consistent even? No, has it slowed down? So
Oh, yeah, did you,
I just see you here. but
I included that,
February, March, oh yeah, here we go, April. Oh, yeah.
when to get into
August.
April there,
Have we-
starts getting fun.
Did we send out a mailer?
She was going to attach it to, I thought, to a
Water bill, that, yeah.
I haven't heard, I can ask, I guess.
Please, let's get that out. And I would think Hudson would want to send something like that. I mean, at the same time, all I'm saying is we've got to do whatever we can to inform. And I don't know, I'm not just concerned about the residents. Should we be talking to the apartment owners, like over here on A Street? The people that own those apartments and the different places like that, put some
Well-
pressure at the top?
See, 8th Street, that wouldn't, those would go, those are gonna go straight down to.
I thought we didn't know where everything flowed.
Yeah,
Do we know what streets go into the Cedar?
yeah,
Oh,
We gotta.
you got a list?
based on,
So
you
we
know, your
can, we
manholes.
can, we can target?
We can, and actually, I looked at that today, and it's not a tremendous area.
It's a smaller.
Yeah,
We could go door to door?
that's kind of what I'm
But
thinking.
if
You
we
put,
had to, yeah.
you put a letter together, and you actually give each
I
individual
think
property
door to
owner.
door.
I think we go door to door. get the Cub Scouts or whatever we've got here, or
Board members, whoever.
you
we
guys,
can
board members even, yes.
Whoever we can
Go
get.
door to door and try and do our best to, I mean, because I'm guessing they're just not watching this. They're not hearing how damaging those wipes, those flushable wipes are to our systems.
Yeah.
I just can't believe they're doing it on purpose.
I know I've read some articles also, kind of on that note is where like, you know, maybe nursing homes and stuff like that, where they'll create such an issue that, the utilities department will literally go to the nursing home and say, okay, if this plugs again, you will get the bill for
Yeah.
this or whatever, because
If you
it's
can
such
determine
a
that
problem.
limit,
If, you know, when you can single one out.
Right.
And I mean, that's, if you hit somebody in the pocketbook, they're gonna listen.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, if we can actually target the houses and residents or whatever, is there an apartment complex involved?
I think the majority of it's
No,
single
it's
family.
homes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go target them and we should share, here's what it's cost so far, and we know it's coming from this section of the village, there could be expenses related. I don't know if we can go that far, I'm just talking
Yeah.
off the top of my head here, but
Yeah.
somehow we gotta make it serious. And
Yeah.
yes, how many houses we talking?
I don't even know what to think off the
gosh,
top
I
of my
don't
head.
know.
There's,
100,
I would say 100.
yeah, 100, I suppose.
somewhere in there.
Any
I'd say
other
we-
thoughts,
I'd say
guys?
we have a letter and we attach one of the one of the, rags to the actual letter saying, this is what's being flushed down here. Do you own one of these things? You know, 'cause really. I
And
mean,
can we
we might not
provide
have-
an alternative to these people? I mean,
Right,
maybe they
that's
really
what I'm
feel like
saying.
they gotta have them. Can we get them a diaper bag thing?
Put them in the garbage can like I do at home.
Well, I know. I totally agree with you.
That's-
I mean, that's a
I mean,
thing.
maybe
we
we
use
could-
them as well, but
Maybe
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where we could get a donation to buy something that they could deposit those things in and throw them out in the garbage instead of throwing them down the sewer.
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just, again, thinking off the top of my head, but there's gotta be a way.
Yeah, and normal person, I mean, they might not necessarily know that, you know, what you flush down to the sewer is not all gravity, it has to go through a pumping station.
Right.
So it might be just.
Might be just an education
Just
thing.
education.
Yeah,
People
So,
don't understand even
these
that
100
much.
homes, so the other lift stations aren't getting hit as hard, right? So it's like a
Volume-wise.
concentrated, where's this area?
you'd have to look at the
You can show me?
sanitary
Yeah,
We'll
sewer.
look at the end of the map.
I can show
By
you.
stand.
All
We'll
right.
look at the end of the meeting.
I mean, you truly can see which parcels go into that station.
Is it on, over by Cedar North?
We can't comment on that right now.
All right, sorry. I really feel like we need to, as soon as possible, get that message out to that neighborhood for sure.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us exactly where to target it, it sounds like you can.
Yeah, we can,
Yeah,
And that might slow down until we can get the new pumps in at least.
right.
Sure, yep.
And
It's
if
just
we can-
odd that we wouldn't be having
Yes.
as big a problem with our other two
Yeah,
lift
it's-
stations.
Well, the other ones maybe don't have quite as much age on them. I think that just due to the last few times that I unplugged those, I think it's just getting to the point where everything's getting wore out.
We've
It's
wore
just-
out that
it's
exact
just-
particular set of equipment.
Yeah,
Well, why
it's-
not the others though?
Well, I
And
mean, some,
they're
it
all
might
the
be
same-
bigger motors
Well,
that can handle the
same
rates.
age. though,
They're
right?
different pumps.
Yeah.
They're different, they're all different style pumps than that. That's the only
Oh.
one that it has the can system.
Okay,
They're a dry.
The other ones are submersible.
it's a what?
This one's a dry pit pump.
And so how does that differ?
The other ones submersible are actually in the wet well. They're
Okay.
on a rail system, so you can just physically pull those up and down.
Okay.
These are down into a dry pit.
Yeah, so just because we can pull them up and down doesn't mean they're not facing rags?
Oh, yeah, but they're all
facing
facing
rags.
rags, yeah. Different impellers, different manufacturers,
Okay, so
yeah.
it might just be a lot related to the construction of this one, but you said they're all about 37 years old?
Well, Crowley Lane's fairly new.
Well, not Cratley.
Yeah, that one's fairly
And
new.
is that a submersible?
That's
Yes.
a submersible station, yeah.
And the other
Everybody's
ones-
going to submersibles. They're just a lot more easier to main, you know, you don't have to go down in a confined space, they're easy to pull up and down, and
Did we consider that?
You could consider it, but that's,
Yeah, you're
How
talking
expensive,
Quite
just
a-
ballpark?
200.
200,000? Jeez.
I don't
You'd
think
have
you
to
want to
Buy
go.
another truck.
Yeah.
you'd
Lift
have to
stations
dig
are
up
not
most of
cheap.
that street and,
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
wanted to hear.
yep. It's expensive, yep.
Ouch. Okay, go ahead.
I would like to get the address, well, we'll look up here. I'm sorry, the perimeter,
Yeah.
this is the overall perimeter of this and then.
I've got a
get it.
sanitary sewer
Oh, and
map.
by the way, one doesn't flow to the other. They all flow right to Riverside, the big Riverside,
Yeah.
right? Or is there flow from one to the other?
No, no.
Yeah, I'd have to lie. I
No,
don't
they
think
all go,
double pump.
I asked you that
Cedar goes,
years ago.
Cedar goes up to
Yeah.
10th Street, and then that all gravity flows to Riverside.
Big
The
Riverside.
little Riverside one goes up to the top of Helen Street, and then that flows down to Riverside. Everything, gravity flows down to East Bank. East Bank pushes it up to Highway 35, then it gravity flows down, and Cratley just,
What do you mean up to 35? What pushes it?
East Bank is a force main also,
Oh.
that goes up to, because it's at
Gotta
a
rise up.
upward
grade,
slope, so
yeah.
it pushes it up to 35, and then gravity feeds down.
What's pushing it?
The
Pumps.
The pumps.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Those must be more powerful pumps.
Not really, those are, the
Really?
biggest ones we have are at that little Riverside station, because that hill
Because of
is
the
so
hill. Okay.
steep.
Yeah.
It's interesting how poop flows.
It is.
A lot more
But they
than the guy
don't, they
thinks.
don't flow from one of our pumps to the other. They
No,
all
I don't
flow
know. They don't go.
independently to Big
Yeah,
Riverside.
They all end up down to Riverside, yeah.
And so the Big Riverside's gotta have a pretty good sized pump.
Those are big.
And that's because it's pushing it under the Malibu and up.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all dependent on how far the pipe is and how much elevation difference, how much friction loss. Each one of these stations has a certain flow rate, and they call it a TDH,
Yeah.
total dynamic head.
Okay.
So they're all specific, and there's a lot of factors that go into that.
So these pipes we're gonna fix in 2021 on 35,
Yeah.
that's gonna help?
Not with the stations,
Oh.
yeah. That's just up, the pipes that you have now are all clay tile and they're cracked and,
Are the same size of pipe coming into the pumps, the same across the board? I mean, are they control going in?
they're all basically 8-inch pipe.
Yeah. Yep.
How big?
8-inch,
8 inch.
8-inch sanitary, yeah,
Okay.
that's standard.
Okay.
All right.
Idea there, we got you off track.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah,
just-
no, it was good
This is good
education.
job.
Just one other thing that's out there too, they call it a basket or a screen.
Okay.
You used to see these real common way back when. You put these on the influent side coming into the wet well.
Yeah.
This is a manual thing that you would have to pull up every so often and actually physically pull the regs out. It's, a lot of communities
Well,
are
wait a minute.
going away from this.
Yeah, but would it,
But since you're starting to see these reoccurrence things about
would it
every
be
1 or
something-
2 days.
So you're saying that we could temporarily do that?
Potentially.
What's the cost?
Yeah.
So-
How would we pull that? Let's go there first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're gonna let you figure that out.
just another option that's out there.
Okay, so
Not
can you?
necessarily it's gonna work for
Well,
yours.
no, Patrick, you know I'm looking for a temp solution for that 10 to 12
Yes,
weeks.
no, and I agree with you,
If a basket would save us from having to get a pump truck out there or call Hudson for 10 to 12 weeks, I'm just
I'm
saying.
almost thinking we'd have to have a pump truck to lift that basket, because you.
It's a big basket.
If you got a bunch of rags in
Yeah,
there,
it's
could you
gonna be
imagine
some
trying
weight
to
to
lift
it.
that?
Let me see.
There's stainless steel, and it's just another options that's out there.
Okay, well,
So
We can, we can definitely talk about it and check into
I
it and
just
see if
want,
it's something.
I want some options.
Yeah.
And again, I'm also trying to get ahead of the game if we have trouble with little and east. You know what I mean? If we run into this again, I
Yeah.
want to get a better game plan. I mean, we're having to be reactionary in this case, because it seemed like it, but those other pumps being close to 37, those other two, I'm worried about those things.
So, I did order a new volute for that
Okay?
one down the Riverside, so that should I'm hoping that'll be here this week, so.
Okay. Any other ideas?
That's.
Patrick,
yeah.
did you investigate having a contract with a pump truck to?
I didn't have time.
Okay.
I will,
Put that on your
I'll
list.
put that on my list to call tomorrow.
So my thought to him, once these things started going down every 2 days, was can we just contract for a lesser price to a pump company and just have them come out every 2 days and pump those things out?
Oh,
Preventative, you know, at least to get us through the 10 to 12 week time before we can get this new thing in there. Besides, every time those pumps stop, it's not good for the pumps. They're gonna fry on us.
Yeah, they are.
And then what? We gotta do a bypass. We'd have to get a bypass in fast.
And you'd have to do it real quick, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So all I'm saying is I'm looking for you guys to give me a temp solution.
Okay.
So A, you're not having to run out there every 2 days. And B, we're not stopping those pumps. And just, you know, they're gonna break. Which they already did, didn't they? Oh, that was O-rings.
Roll.
Well, O-rings and the,
Roll
Okay,
phase.
all right.
road phase. Yep.
Anything else, engineer?
That's it.
All right. Item number 7, director's report.
I don't have a whole lot to report other than the whole Public Works Department is tired. We're done with snow.
From the snow.
Yeah.
Good job on the snow. I think it was a good job. All right, item 8, Public Works capital equipment planning discussion only.
I don't really have anything. The only thing that I would like to add to next year's budget planning is a laptop for Public Works crew.
You guys don't have one?
No.
Okay. I asked him to put number 8 on here, guys, each meeting, so we can start budgeting now, because around about, what month was it? July or August? She started asking us.
August.
So, in public safety, the chief, it does this. So every meeting, they're talking about next year's budget, so we're not all rushed when it comes to August to put together a budget.
Yeah.
Item number 9, Public Works Committee, future goals discussion only. I had them put this on for us, and this is where, in part, I want to, what I was saying at the beginning of the meeting, I want us to know when we're going to do what for the next 5 years, and that helps us with budgeting every year. And we're not surprised. We know what streets are going to get this seal coating and patching, and I want to know going off in the future. And that's not to say that won't ever adjust. But I really want that done, and I know there's discussion going on the Parks Committee about having us expand some of our parks.
Yeah.
You guys realize that these parks we have there, some of them are huge. I mean, big, but we only have a little area cleared on them for a jungle gym, the one by you.
Yeah.
But that thing goes all the way down to the, I want to call it the stockyards all the time. But yeah, the storage area, so it's a big, we could, parks are thinking about trails, and our guys might would probably want our guys to help clear trails.
Where are the kids supposed to sneak off to vape?
Yeah, exactly. So, this item I'm putting on here, so if you guys, as we go each month into thinking about what else do we want to do with Public Works, this is when we should discuss it, plan it, figure out what it's going to cost, put it on our budget, etc. So this is for us 3.
Okay.
I'll leave those on there.
Yeah, I don't have anything
good.
myself this time. You guys, anything?
How about a preventive maintenance scheduling program?
Yeah, I agree.
Something that you start entering and it reoccurs and it pops up on your calendar saying, hey, go paint a hydrant today. Or
In my industry, in the computer industry, I mean, we knew we were replacing computers every 3 years, and then when it came to the servers, it was a whole nother thing. Well, we were going from physical servers to virtual servers and routers, and you just knew every year you were spending this many $1 million. Well, for me, for the size of the organization, this many dollars in this area of the country, and I want us to look at our infrastructure like it's a car or a truck or something else where we're doing constant preventative maintenance, and we know about when we're doing it. In X number of years, we're doing it again, and That way, we're budgeting properly, and it's not so hard to budget. Then we're gonna have these weird projects, you know. T-RIPS and the, by the way, about that,
Yeah.
where's that at?
Which one?
The one where you got put on the committee, so we get.
LRIP?
Yeah, LRIP. I said T-RIP, sorry.
That's already been approved.
that's all
Good.
approved.
Funding's all approved for that.
All right. Okay. Item number 10, future agenda items. You know what, I don't, why don't you add future agenda items next time to number 9? So put the two together.
Okay.
Unless you guys disagree.
No, I agree. I mean, it's future goals and future items can be pretty much the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Any future agenda items? No. All right, item number 11 is adjournment. We are adjourned at 6:20 PM. Thank you.